Everything okay in here? It's only Mamoru. Yeah, everything's fine. He raises an eyebrow. Are you sure, Hallie? You look really pale. I wave my hand dismissively. Yeah, I'm fine. Just a stressful day at school. Natsuki glares at me for my blatant dishonesty. If you say so. Even Mamoru doesn't seem to fall for my bluff. He simply gets a glass of water and leaves. Once again, Natsuki's voice is low, but it still carries her usual punch. Did you really need to lie to him? I stay silent. No, I shouldn't have lied. At the same time, I don't really fancy explaining how messed up my head is for a second time. I'll tell them when I'm ready. Natsuki is hesitant for a moment, but she eventually nods. Just promise me you're gonna be okay. I sigh regretfully. I look down at the kitchen counter. I can't promise anything, but I'll try. Natsuki nods as she wipes her eyes. Sorry if it sounds like I'm being pissy with you. I do care, you know. I know, Nat. I can't imagine how hard this is for you, but I'll be here for you. Okay? She smiles warmly at me, and I smile back. Okay. There is then a knock at the front door. It doesn't take Mamoru too long to answer it. The four of us sit in the living room to eat. Despite the four of us all being here, the room is almost silent. If it wasn't for the sounds emitting from the TV or the sounds of the utensils against plates, it would be deathly quiet. I don't eat much. It's kind of hard to focus on eating when it feels like there's a raging hurricane inside my head. I know it's far from healthy to keep dwelling on something like this, but at the same time I can't help but think. Multiple scenarios play out in my head that I'm powerless to stop. However, I keep telling myself that I'm overreacting. She's fine. Her phone's probably just busted. She's probably missing you just as much. Probably not to the extent where it's driving her mad, but still. Eventually, Mum rests a hand on my shoulder. Honey, are you all right? You've barely touched your rice. I slightly turn my head to look at her. I nod weakly. Yeah, I'm fine. Mum gives me the same look that Natsuki did. You've been like this since we got back. I've noticed you getting quite distant a few times now. But it just, I don't know, it feels different somehow. No, you've got it all wrong. I'm okay, seriously. I look down at the floor. Now I'm lying to my own damn mother of all people. I really do need help, don't I? As soon as I look back up, I see everyone looking at me with varying yet similar levels of concern. Natsuki looks like she's having a hard time keeping in everything I've told her. Ellie, if something happened, you can tell us. We're your family, remember? I wish it was that easy. I don't want to assume, but are things between you and Monica all right? My body tenses up as I hear her name. I mean, things between us are okay, but as for Monica herself... Yeah, we're good. Never been better. Real convincing. I stand up and start to walk towards the kitchen. Where are you going? I'm just getting a drink. I'll be right back. I grab one of the glasses I had already used, rinse it, and then get some fresh water from the tap. I gulp it down quickly and take a moment to breathe. I rest my hand on my chest. My heart's racing. I take slow breaths to help my heartbeat slow down. I'm nearly able to get my heart beating regularly, but the sudden ringing of my phone sends my heart back into overdrive. It's like something out of a damn slasher movie. I rarely take my phone out of my pocket to see who's calling me. Harumi. She did say she was going to call me later. Maybe she has an update about Monica? I hurriedly answer my phone and put it up to my ear. Hey, Harumi, what's... I'm then silenced by the sounds of Harumi sobbing down the line. My voice goes from harsh to soft and shaky. Harumi, what's going on? It's Monica. She falls silent. I take a moment to respond. Is she okay? More silence. I then hear her give a heavy sigh. Oh, she's not. My heart stops beating. My face is frozen in shock. Harumi's voice chokes. We just got back from work. I went to check up on Monica because she hadn't been answering my calls since you called. What? When I got to her room, I opened the door and I saw her. She was... She starts to cry again. The longer she does, the deeper my heart sinks. She was what, Harumi? My question and shaky voice carry an air of worry. She's gone, Allie. She's gone. I found her. She overdosed. She inhales, sounding breathless. And from what the first responders told us, she may have done it this morning. Maybe even last night. There wasn't anything they could have done. I stay silent. I can't even begin to progress what I had just heard. Process would be the word. All that time I spent trying to call her this morning, and she was already dead? And the last time I heard her voice was a fucking answer machine? No. My breaths become shaky as I try to find the words to say, but I can't find them. I so desperately want to call her bluff. But why would Harumi lie about this? Hell, who would? I'm so sorry, Hallie. If I didn't know how else to tell you. Harumi. I struggle to find the words to say. I'm sorry too. I can't. I choke on my own voice. Harumi stifles a sob over the line. I then overhear a second voice, one more abrasive and gruff. Daisuke. Harumi then nervously mutters something. Rather shyly, I speak up. What's going on? Sorry, Ellie. I'll call you later. Harumi, wait! She hangs up before I can even finish. I put my phone on the side before running my hands over my face and through my hair, trying as hard as I can to keep it together. But that's proving itself to be difficult, as the only thought running through my head is, I didn't even get to say goodbye. I mumble that to myself as I tap the kitchen counter with my fingers. My lip quivers as tears continue to form into my eyes. I didn't get to... I turn my head and see Mom just walking and quite possibly overhearing my end of the conversation with Harumi. After all, it wasn't exactly quiet about it. Hallie. Her voice is cautious as she looks at the state I'm in. I look away and shake my head. That was Moni's mother. She found Monica's dead. She's dead. I fall silent and lock eyes with Mom. I open my mouth, but words fail to come out. Only a whimper. I then turn from her and start walking out the kitchen. Mom does try to stop me, but it proves no use. I head toward the front door, only stopping by the shoe rack to get my trainers. As I'm getting them on, I hear some quiet footsteps approaching me. Not long after, a small voice sheepishly pipes up behind me.
Hallie? What are you doing?
Nothing. My dry, quickened tone doesn't help my case.
Certainly doesn't look like nothing.
Despite that sentence carrying a semblance of Natsuki's usual snark, her delivery is a lot more concerned. There's silence between us as I tie my laces. After I'm finished, I stand straight and grab my jacket from the coat pegs. Natsuki grabs my arm gently, and I look back at her with a blank, drained expression. Her expression is one of curiosity and worry.
Please, Hallie. You can talk to me, you know.
I'm silent. How the hell could I even start to describe what happened? I clutch the hood of my jacket, my hands starting to tremble. I'm fine, Nat. I'm fine.
Well, you certainly don't sound fine. Hallie, please just...
Natsuki, I'm fine. My tone disagrees with my words, no matter the stern facade I attempt to show. By the look in her eyes, I can tell Nat's scared. I look away from her as I hurriedly pull my jacket on. As I turn towards the door, I am once again greeted by Natsuki, this time looking more assertive. Could you move, Nat? I don't have time for this. I need to get out of here. I need to get to Moni's. I need to...
I'm not budging! Not until you tell me what's going on!
I told you I'm fine. Something just came up at Monica's place. So if you could just please move... With my voice becoming increasingly more strained and desperate, I reach out for the door handle, only for Natsuki to grip my wrist before I can grab a hold of the handle.
No, you're not fine! For Christ's sake, you're paler than a bloody ghost!
Natsuki, get out of my way! I try to barge past her, but Natsuki holds me back. Again, for someone of her stature, she's quite strong. I eventually relent in frustration. As I do, though, Natsuki's expression softens.
Wait, what happened at Monica's?
My voice quickly trails off as everything falls silent. The reality of the situation becomes increasingly more and more apparent to me. Monica's gone. She's not on holiday. She's not over at her grandparents' place. She's gone. My heart starts to beat faster and faster and faster, until it feels like my entire body feels like it's going to abruptly shut down. Feels like my head starts to feel light. My hands become far more shaky and clammy.
Hallie?
Natsuki starts to timidly approach me, worry is plastered all over her eyes. The closer she gets, though, the more I step back. Eventually, I find myself backed up against the wall. Once more, tears have started to form in the corners of my eyes. Nat takes a step back and averts her gaze, the look on her face softening once again. Perhaps, deep down, she knows exactly what I'm about to say. It's Monica. She's gone. I choke on my voice, falling silent once more. At this point, I can now feel the coldness of my own tears slowly inching their way down my cheeks. As much as I want to refuse that this is real, I can't bring myself to deny it. I slide down the wall until I'm set on the ground, knees up and my arms tightly around me. I look towards the ground as I hear Mom and Mamoru approach. I can't bear to look anyone in the eye. B-E-A-R. To look anyone in the eye. I mute as the tears start to fall faster. Anything they attempt to say is lost on me. I can't focus. Eventually, in a dry, shaken, and broken voice, I speak. Monika's gone. It's a fact that I know will haunt me. My cries begin to take over. She's gone, and she's never coming back. I clench my eyes as I bury my head in my arms, completely breaking down. The sounds of footsteps rushing towards me become blurred as my mind spirals out of control, all whilst my sobbing starts to converge on screaming. I try to fill my mind with the time Monika and I shared, but the fact I'll never be able to see her again keeps forcing itself to the forefront of my mind. I already knew about the first time she had considered this, but never in a million years did I think she would go through with it. I can only find myself asking why. What was going on back home that made her think that this was her one and only option? Why didn't I notice anything wrong with her sooner? I keep telling myself that there is some way I could have prevented this. But how could I if I was completely oblivious to just how much she was suffering? And now I'm on my own. Now I'll never get to hold her in my arms again. All my dreams and hopes for our future, I can just chuck them away now. She's gone. She's never coming back. And worst of all, I never even got the chance to say goodbye. I lay sprawled out on my bed. Once again, I wake up in a cold sweat. Another night, another nightmare. It's been the same since the night I lost her. That being said, I didn't even sleep that night. Not that it's been any easier since then. All I see when I close my eyes is just her calling my name, asking me why I wasn't there. I wasn't even there when it happened, yet my mind still finds a way to remind me. I try to sleep again, but I'm restless. Rather reluctantly, I get out of bed. I struggle to find an ounce of motivation to do anything. However, I then hear a knock at the door. I grab my phone from the side of my bed and turn on the screen to see what day it is. It's Friday. Before I get dressed, though, I take a good long look at my lock screen. There, behind my recently cracked screen, is the girl I'll never forget. But as much as I never want to forget her, I can't say her name without it getting caught in my throat. I brush my thumb against one of the cracks, breathing gently out of my nostrils. I wish I could turn back time. I wish I could see her again. With a sigh, I rest my phone on my drawers and head downstairs. I fumble with the keys, but I'm eventually able to unlock the door. Aside from the downpour of rain, I can spot a familiar bound of coral hair. Hey, come inside. I open the door a little further and let Sayori inside. Sayori carefully closes the door. It's been a while since she came over.
You're looking rough.
I don't have an answer for that. I can't recall the last time I looked at myself in the mirror. How's everything back at school? I haven't been to school in 2 weeks. It didn't take long for news of what happened to reach the school. It eventually got to the point that I had a full-blown panic attack because people wouldn't stop asking me about it. About her. Wouldn't surprise me if some people thought that I'd suffered the same fate.
That's been alright. Kinda. We're still trying to process the everything.
I nod.
We've been worried about you, Hallie. You've not been the same. Hell, we've barely seen you since then.
I pinch the bridge of my nose and shake my head. She's got more than enough to worry about already. I don't need to add myself to the list.
I'm trying to be here for you.
I plant my forehead against the wall and slowly breathe. Sorry. Sayori then comes up behind me and pats my back.
I know you're hurting, so I'm not gonna hold it against you. But I am gonna try to be here for you as much as I can.
I look back at her and smile weakly. Thanks, Sayo.
You don't need to thank me.
I'll never understand how Sayori has put up with me all these years. But I'm glad that she's around. Sayori then takes her phone out of her jacket pocket.
I know I only just got here, but I gotta get going.
Alright, Sayori.
If you want, I can always come over after school to keep you company until my parents get back. Of course, if you want me to.
I mean, with tomorrow being the day of the funeral, I could do with all the company I need. Yeah, I'd like that.
I'll see you later then.
I force a smile. Yeah, see you then. Sayori beams before leaving. As soon as she leaves, though, I find myself alone again. Alone with my thoughts. Maybe I can use this time to get some writing done? I might not be currently going to school, but I am still part of a literature club, let alone one that was run by my girlfriend. It's really the least I can do. I don't want to let her down again now, do I? The school day drags on until the final bell rings. I then came to the club room to see both Natsuki and Yuri waiting for me. As soon as we step in, we do what we've been doing for the past few weeks. Natsuki started reading on her own. Yuri sat on a desk close to the window, gazing out at the rain, and I'm just sitting at the front, completely clueless on what to do. I did consider putting the club on an indefinite hiatus not long after I found out about what happened to Monica. I'm pretty sure we're Sayori right now.
Oh, but I personally felt that keeping the club going would be what she would have preferred. She wanted the club to continue after we were gone. It would be a bit of a disservice if we were to abandon what we all had worked so hard for. Still, though, I'm heartbroken that she's gone. We all are. And at the same time, we're all concerned about what Hallie might do. Natsuki can still hear his screams from that day. Yuri, for a time, thought she had something to do with it. Eventually, though, Natsuki told her everything that Hallie had told her. And I'm simply worried that he might completely snap. I desperately want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he'll recover. But I can't be too sure, especially with tomorrow looming. Figuring I should at least keep myself active, I go and see if either of the girls want to talk. I approach Natsuki, only notice the small white earbuds she's wearing. Instead, I pull out a chair and sit in front of Yuri. You okay, Yuri? I'm doing okay. I could be doing better, but I'm okay. She smiles warmly and I smile back. I'm glad to hear that. Can ask you something, though. Of course, Yuri. How's Hallie been? I know it's odd of me to ask, but I know you two are close, so I just thought. Plus, he may or may not have been on my mind lately. I think for a bit. Out of everyone, Yuri's been the one that has had the least amount of contact with Hallie since he had stopped coming in. I know him and Yuri had a bit of a close-ish friendship, so I would feel wrong about leaving her in the dark. Hallie's doing alright, but I'm worried about tomorrow. As am I. I can't imagine it's going to be easy. I know us three are there to support him. But is that going to be enough? Yuri looks out the window once more. I reach out and rest a hand on her wrist. You said he was on your mind, right? She nods. I know it's not the right time to ask. But do you still like him? In that way? She goes crimson. I rest a hand on her shoulder. I'm going to sound selfish. I quickly look towards Natsuki. She's still reading and listening to her music. I then look back to face Yuri. Yuri, this is just between us, just like when you told me. I promise I won't judge. Yuri sighs. Well, yes. But I know I could never replace Monica. There was a part of me that was jealous at first, yes. But I eventually realized that the connection they had was something else. The love they had for each other meant a great deal to them. It's rare to see that sort of connection come naturally like it did with them. She thinks for a moment. I know I could never replicate what they had, let alone replace it. And even if I could, I wouldn't want to. But I still want to see him happy. It's what Monica would have wanted. I give Yuri a teary-eyed smile. It is, yeah. It is. It's what we all want. I get up and start to walk back to the front desk. However, I then hear a knock at the door. That's odd, we don't usually get visitors. It's open! The door clicks open. Ryuji and Kaho silently walk in. I've seen Kaho around a few times, mostly because Monica was in the council with her. As for Ryuji, I've really only seen him around either Hallie or Kaho. I can't really say I know him that much.
Hey, so, you wouldn't have seen Hallie lately, have you?
I saw him this morning. I don't know if he's on or not coming back into school anytime soon, though. Why do you ask? Ryuji regretfully sighs.
It's probably best if Kaho explains.
I turn to her.
I know it might seem sudden, probably even a bit much, but the student council and myself are working with the school to hold a memorial for Monica. We've been planning it since last week, and we were wondering if Hallie wanted to say a few things.
My mouth partially hangs open. In the corner of my eye, I see Yuri looking over at us. She looks concerned. My eyes dart between both Kaho and Ryuji in slight confusion. When's the memorial planned for exactly?
For Monday, if I remember right.
Ryuji looks back at me with sorrow in his eyes. Feeling frustrated, I unintentionally raise my voice. Her funeral's tomorrow. It's gonna be hard on him enough as is. I can't imagine him wanting to talk about it up to the whole school. I then lower my voice. I can't even say her name without getting upset. The room is silent after I say that. Well, silent besides the faint music coming from Natsuki's earbuds. Ryuji then turns to Kaho.
Come on, let's just go.
Kaho nods and they start to head out. Before they leave, though, Kaho stops by the door to speak to me.
Sayori, is it?
I nod.
If you do see Hallie later on, could you let him know about what's happening on Monday? Maybe see if he wants to... Go, please don't force her to get him on board. He's been through enough already.
Ryuji's back out as soon as he spoke up. Kaho simply sighs regretfully.
Sorry, I'll be right out.
She rushes out, presumably after Ryuji. I just returned to the front desk.